Yep, it's hat time again. It's getting cold here in Austria. And I'd like to ask you three powerful questions that Laurie Ladd asked me today. And I thought they're so powerful because nothing is more powerful than being in the present moment. Tapping into Einstein time, not Newton time. And the Einstein time starts expanding, hello, when we're in the present moment. So being present is a very powerful thing to do. And here are the questions you can ask yourself to bring yourself into the present moment wherever you are. Are you ready for them? Okay, so ask yourself, where am I right now? Where are you? Literally, where are you? Maybe you'd like to share where you are. I'm in Salzburg, Austria, in my apartment, talking to you. That's where I am right now. So ask yourself, where are you right now? Question number 2, where is your breath? Go ahead, go find your breath. Feel where is it in your body right now. And take a nice deep belly breath in and out through your nose. Find your center. Well done. Question number 3. What am I feeling right now? Go ahead and tap into those feelings inside of your body that come up when you ask the question, what am I feeling right now? I'm feeling a sense of curiosity, excitement for the day, and a sense of calm. That's what I'm feeling. What are you feeling? Would you like to share? So anytime you notice you're going somewhere else in your head, you're going down some rabbit hole, you're following a negative thought that brings a negative feeling that gets you to see the world through those dark lenses, take a moment, just like now, take a big deep breath and come into the present moment by asking yourself, where am I right now? Where is my breath? And what am I feeling right now? Okay. So now that we've assessed where we are, we're in the present moment, and we know how we feel, we can actually start stating an intention. So what do we want now? Where's this journey going? How is this day going to unfold? How are we going to show up today? Is there a heart's desire that we feel we'd like to see manifest in the world? What is it for you? What would you like to see happening today? What do you need to see happening? And then when you're ready, take another deep breath in and out. And close your eyes. It's okay, it's safe. If you're not driving, you're good. And now roll your eyes up as if you're looking through the crown of your head. And then keep your eyes rolled up there and say, even if I don't know how to be my best self today and be in my zone of genius as I expand into love, abundance, and success, all I do know is it is so now. I delete all that could stop me, and I download everything I need to do so now with grace, ease, and joy. Thank you. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. One more breath. Well done. Open your eyes and check in. How do you feel right now? You're in the present moment. You've set an intention, so now allow those positive, elevated emotions in you to rise. Allow them to expand and grow and go out into your day, taking that presence and that bubble of energy with you, and notice what is different. And then this evening when you go to bed, before you go to sleep, tap into gratitude for having that warm, soft bed to lie into, for having a body, for having a roof over your head. Tap into gratitude and review your day. The morning and the evening are best moments to really set intentions for the day or for the night, to tune into the quantum field, to tune into you. So those are the minimum times and the most beautiful times you definitely want to make sure that you are present and conscious and awake to your heart's desires. And those sort of things that I've just been sharing with you will take a whole lot deeper in our quantum ESP training that we just recently launched. It's one of our biggest online trainings. It's going to be a global training. It's coming out. It is out in Dutch and in English, and we're working on the German version. And our desire is to teach you how to train your extrasensory skills, your intuition, but also your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, knowing what's going to be happening and sensing, becoming super sensitive to all the information that is around you, and being very conscious in choosing which information you're going to allow into this precious system of yours, which information is helpful and useful to you. You don't want to just randomly connect to everything. There was so much information going on, you could get sidetracked. And I've seen that happen all too often. So in our training, Quantum ESP, we're going to train you to train those extrasensory perception skills so that you're this super sensitive seismograph, and you're strong and powerful, and you're clear in your intentions, so that you are only connecting to information that is helpful and useful to you, because it's all about being connected to who we really are, so that we can all together create a better world for us all. And I know that by training so many people in the sixth sense, let's call it that, or the seventh sense, whatever you want to call it, by doing that, we're helping every one of them to tune into their heart's desires, their mission in life, to believe into themselves again. I think so many of us, especially if we've been or are empaths, then we have heard all too often that we are too sensitive, that we take things too personally, that we should just, relax a little more and tune out and distract ourselves or numb ourselves out. And that's not very helpful. That's why in my talk yesterday, I was talking about the wonderful book that Anita Moorjani has written called Sensitive is the New Strong. And she's sharing a lot of very powerful insights into how to harness that energy of an empath, which is highly intuitive, usually very connected to spirituality, and how we can actually make that a gift rather than a curse. So I love how all of what she's teaching is so aligned with my own book, How to Use Your Intuition to Change Your Life, but also now with the Oracle training and now the Quantum ESP training. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this training to you as your 100 days, that's the challenge, 100 days to become an awesome channeler of the divine. And if you don't like the word divine, use quantum field, whatever you want to say. I hope that many of you will take us up on this offer, because we are looking for the best channelers that this world has to offer. We have seen in our own lives by training and doing this ourselves, but also by training a lot of other people in these skills, that lives can become so much more easeful and joyful and more loving, and we can actually be part of the solution on this planet. So if any of this resonates with you, I encourage you to check out our Quantum ESP training and see if you're not ready to sign up for 100 days of a bootcamp training where we will guide you through the steps and put in all our knowledge, and I tell you it's a lot, so that you can really understand how being connected to the quantum field is incredibly powerful and useful to you. We will guide you through audio meditations. I created some very pretty ones that I really love listening to myself, where you have a morning intention that you can listen to while you're still in bed, so that you actually start your day in a conscious way. And then we have a little 10-minute audio, which is one of my favorite ones, which is called the Daily Reconnect. Those are just 10 minutes for you to close your eyes, reconnect to the quantum field, and train your brain to accept all the powerful and empowering beliefs that you have everything inside of you to be not only a genius in life, but to be a beautiful solution for this planet, where we can actually tune into more love and compassion and care and make this world a better place. And then in the evening, you have a PM intention setting for the night. Because, when we spend 7, 8, however many hours you sleep in the quantum field, wouldn't it be nice to go in there with a clear intention? Wouldn't it be nice to use your nightly sleep time hours to train your brain and also get the information that you need to make your life more easeful, graceful, and joyful? So with just those 3 audios, I feel you're already getting a beautiful brain training that will serve you no matter what. If you also watch the videos or check out the PDFs that Roy has made, where he really puts in so much information about channeling and all the different forms of extrasensory perception, you're going to be a master at this. That I know for sure. And if it really calls to you and you discover, wow, this is so much fun. I love the synchronicities that are developing in my life. I'm noticing shifts in my own body. I'm hearing a lot of feedback from those that are already doing the training that their way of eating has even changed. They no longer feel the desire to eat heavy processed foods. They're actually naturally choosing more natural foods, which is amazing, isn't it? And then you might also notice that you'll sleep better. You feel less lonely. You're less confused. You just feel more certain in life because finally you are realizing that what you maybe suppressed or what you were told as a child is just imagination is very real. And when you learn to harness that power, it really makes a difference. So I'm very, very excited about that. Loredana has a question. Dear Joy, how can I know if a diagnosis of Asperger for Thomas is real? He's always been very connected and very different. Well, this thing of which label is real, I'd like to just remind you, it's a label. And Asperger is a very big spectrum of people who fall into that label of autism, Asperger, and all the different variations of it. And I would see that label, that name that has been given, as an opportunity to really tune into those skills and those gifts that children have who are labeled with that kind of label. Because as being with an empath or as being this or that, whatever label you take, there's always a gift and then there's a kind of curse with it. And so often we will just focus on that curse. And then we might say that Asperger children are very difficult to handle, that they have trouble in social settings and da-da-da-da-da. And yes, a lot of that is true, but I wouldn't see it as a curse. I would see those areas that we just spoke about and also the emotional connection as their biggest learning. Because here's the thing, on the blessing side, children who are labeled with Asperger's are usually highly intelligent, highly intuitive, very sensitive, and there are a lot of gifts in that too. So why not use this as the learning material and this as the gifts to strengthen? Because when a kid that is labeled with Asperger actually learns to balance their emotions, to be compassionate, to develop empathy, to be able to thrive in social settings and know what they need to do to be able to do that, you have a very powerful human being coming out of that. If we just focus on what's not right and say this needs to be, I don't know, dampened down and made more normal, then we're actually crushing us all. And that's never what I would like to enforce or even suggest. So I would teach Thomas a lot of the Joyful Kids programs so that he learns to claim responsibility for his actions, because very often that when children struggle in social settings, struggle at school, struggle with their own emotions, they're often put into the outside and ostracized for that. And that can sometimes lead to a state of victimhood. So then the child or person is no longer claiming responsibility for their actions. They will just blame the outside world for not understanding them. And when they realize that it's a giving and a getting, right? It's a flow. It's about how is my own state. Then we can train children to be incredibly empathic and compassionate and wise and smart leaders for the future. So that would be my advice there. And for any person that is sensitive, look at what you're putting into your body. Look at the foods that you're eating. Are you using a lot of processed foods? Are there a lot of additives in the foods? That will always trigger a sensitive system in itself. So look at the toxins that you're putting in, but also look at what you're doing in your mind. Really, that conversation that is going on in our minds the whole time, that is the one that you need to take control of and really ask yourself empowering questions. Do that deep inner work so that you know what you need to be in a good state. Because once we learn to take care of ourselves and really tune into that sense of worthiness and self-love, then we're actually also only able to give it and see it in the outside. So find your balance first. In my little Facebook Live yesterday, I also shared some new insights that I had and a very simple breathing technique. And you know, breath work is free. It's powerful. It's so good for health, mind, body, for everything in you. And I would recommend making time for yourself. And as a mom, as a teacher, as a parent, whatever you are, if you have children, remember what you do is what children watch. So So if you are practicing your inner work, if you're practicing emotional balance, if you're taking time to meditate, to breathe, taking time for yourself, you're also inspiring your children to do the same. And then it's much easier to keep families also in a more joyful vibe. Are there any more questions? Oh yeah, Loredana is saying that sugar makes Thomas very nervous. Yeah, well, all of us actually. So sugar is like crack for the brain. It'll give you that dopamine high and then usually crashes. And the more sugar we ingest, the more sugar we need, we'll crave. So going on a sugar detox, I would recommend that to everyone. I do it regularly. I have to, because there's so much sugar in all the foods that we eat that just with the sort of by the side sugar, we're often going way over what our body needs. And usually it's much easier to stay centered and calm when we reduce the amount of sugar and carbohydrates that we eat. That's very true. Do you have any other questions for me, loves? Then tap them in. I can see the comments today. That's very helpful. If you have any questions about the quantum ESP training, any questions you feel might be useful also for others to have answered, that's what the Joy Tribe is actually for. And I encourage you to really post in the Joy Tribe when you're a member. And if not, you better become a member, because I really am in that tribe every single day. And if you tag me in a post, I will always answer your question. And I love seeing the questions that are coming up. So one of the questions that I saw in the quantum ESP training is it possible that I'm suddenly dreaming these dreams, and then I, for instance, dreamt that my mum was calling for help in the night, and I woke up with a jolt, and I heard that. This lady writes this. Is it normal that then in the next day, actually I heard that my mum had fallen in the night, and she was indeed calling out for help? Is it possible? Is this real? Well, I would say yes. If you are noticing that your premonitions, that your intuition is speaking to you and you wake up with a jolt, or you just suddenly know something, definitely notice. I even recommend write it down and take it seriously. Because if you focus on that, what intuition is telling you, if you focus on that subtle voice, if you trust that knowing will become stronger. And when that knowing becomes stronger, we feel more confident and clear and calm inside, because we realize there's really nothing to fear. There's really nothing out there that can harm us. The only thing we need to do is find that peace inside of us, and then we will emanate it out, right? That's why presence is so important. So I thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you practice being really, really present today. Present to your breath, present to your heart's desires, and present to all that you have in life that is working well. And then notice how that starts expanding. Much love to you, Emmeline, Daniela, Loredana, and all the others that are joining. And Natalie's saying, I had a dream that my dog is saying goodbye. How do I know if it's real? Well, you will know when it's real when your dog passes, and then it'll say, told you so, if that is the message. I don't know anything about your dog, how old it is, but if you're dreaming that your dog is saying goodbye, I would definitely look at that and make every single moment now count even more. So the idea of premonitions are not to install fear in us. The premonition is there to give you information so that you can deal with it in the best way, in the most loving way. So when we have dreams that sometimes feel a little scary, it's not there to scare us. It's there for us to look at the information and see, okay, how is this useful to me? So if I would know, for instance, if we were to know that a loved one was about to go in a couple of days, weeks, months, years, we don't know when it is, right? Wouldn't we then pay even more attention to every single moment that we have with that being? So I would see that as an invitation to not only feel that gratitude for having such an amazing being, your dog, but also play with your dog and start connecting with your dog in a way that you could telepathically talk to them. You can. A lot of empaths have a very easy time talking to animals. It's just not a verbal, loud talking. It's more inside here. It's telepathic. So connect to your dog. Ask your dog if there's anything that you could do for it. And when you get to spend time with it, then make it extra special without tapping into fear, but trusting that all is well and all is going to unfold in the exact perfect way, and there's nothing for you that you need to worry about. That's what I would say. Yeah, Loredana is saying, always follow your intuition. I had Thomas calling me in the night 3 times. He was sleeping. Wait, there's a little line. And then the wooden table caught fire, right? And actually the dream warned you not about something being wrong with Thomas, but that was the messenger to bring you the message that, wow, the wooden table in the kitchen is on fire. You better go check. So intuition always has your back. It's always there to help you, not to punish you. Know that, okay? So if you hear a fearful voice, an anxious voice, a voice that's putting you down, that's chastising you for something, making you feel guilty, that's not intuition. That's usually programming. It's usually some voice of the past. It's maybe a parent, or I don't know, an authority figure, or a cultural programming that's just popping up because something triggered that. And that's usually a great moment to ask yourself, is that true? Because usually it's not. And Anna's saying, and when you only have a gut feeling, but you don't know what it's about tuning in more. That's why become more sensitive to these gut feelings. The moment you get a gut feeling, become super present. Tune into it. Find your breath. Notice the feeling. Notice the information that comes through and just write it down. Sometimes, just writing down the information without any filter, no judgment, just write and write and write and write will give you the main insights. But the thing is, if we don't pay attention, if we keep asking, is this real? Should I listen? I'm asking you, well, what else are you listening to? Is it really helpful to you to listen to, I don't know, the news, the propaganda, some celebrity doing their latest tweet? Is that useful to you? Or wouldn't you rather trust what's coming up inside of you? That's you. So I always have to laugh when people get kind of scared in meditations. And they're like, oh my God, and all this thing. And I was thinking, yeah, but it's you and you, honey. It's just you having a conversation with you. And when you have a conversation with you, you might have a lot of things to say because maybe in the past you didn't make time for you and you. So really, don't worry, don't fear. Embrace the information that is coming, thankfully. Don't judge it. You don't need to understand it yet, but trust that you will understand, and that deeper, wiser, higher part of you always understands. It's just that little conscious mind that sometimes gets confused because we're trying to put the quantum field of information into a tiny part of the brain that can actually just process very small amounts of information. That's why it's so important to tune out of the buzz, to step out of that, and to come into silence really often throughout the day. Especially if you're an empath, you need a lot of space for you. You need timeouts. If shopping malls or large crowds create anxiety in you, then that's a sure sign that you need to take those times carefully, and you need to make sure that you step out of that regularly. Go back into nature, find a quiet room, focus on your breath to find yourself again, and then step out into the buzz. Yeah, so that gut feeling is a kinesthetic way of intuition speaking to you, and the kinesthetic channel is a very strong channel. I have a very kinesthetic channel too, and we have lots of other channels as well, and I explain this in my book, How to Use Your Intuition to Change Your Life, and also in the Quantum Intuition Bootcamp training. There you can actually take a test to find out which is your preferred channel of information, because you have an auditory channel, you have an auditory digital channel, that's the conversation inside of your head. Then you have a visual channel, that's what you see. And then you have the kinesthetic channel. And we all have all channels. And then, of course, we have smell and taste and all that too. But the primary ones are those 4. And while we have all 4 channels, we have usually not learned to use all 4 channels. So what we do in the quantum intuition training is we discover what are my preferred channels, because then I also know, A, where is intuition going to hit me first, right? So if I'm an auditory digital information process type, right, then that conversation in my mind, that thought will be the very first thing that intuition will give me. Then maybe the next informational channel I have is a kinesthetic channel. Then after the thought has come, there will be a feeling in the body. Now, I've studied this myself for many, many years. So for me, this is now easy because it's just a normal habit. But it can be that easy for you too, once you know how you process information. What comes in first? Maybe it's a sight. Maybe you see something and then you hear something and then you feel something, or maybe you feel something and then see something and then hear something. So once you understand how you process information, you can A, know where's intuition going to hit first, and B, you also know which channels you want to hone a little more, you want to practice. You want to be able to, be excellent at all of them. And that's also what we teach in the Quantum ESP training, because there you're learning to use all your extrasensory perception skills so that you can truly become a master in this. I look very cute in my hat. It's not black, actually. It's actually dark brown. But thank you, Loredana. Yeah, it's hat weather again. Okay, any other question, my loves? Ask me, tell me. Hi Fabiana, hi Tiziana. I don't know if you heard my Italian yesterday in my Facebook Live. I really tried hard for all our Italian friends to show that I can also speak Italian, or at least read it, right? I don't know if you saw that. But I shared the success mantra that I'm working with right now that comes from the fantastic book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And the success mantra is, I expand in love, success, and abundance while I inspire those around me to do the same. And in Italian, just because I have it right here in front of me, it is mi espando in abbondanza, successo e amore. Ogni giorno mentre ispiro colore che mi circondando a fare lo stesso. Might sound awful to your ears, but the words were right. Okay, my loves, I'm not seeing any more questions, so I guess you're feeling satisfied and fulfilled, which I love. So go out there and spread your joy, and remember to invite your friends to come and join us in the Joy Tribe. We're already touching 11,000 international members, gives me great joy. And yeah, check out the Quantum ESP training. I'd love you to be part of that training. There are already hundreds of people in, and they're having great experiences. And I know there are many more hundreds to come. And maybe you're that channeler that we're looking for to bring creative and sustainable solutions to this planet. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Loredana.